mine may be.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so I just figured I'd jump on and do a quick live stream. I know I didn't really let everybody know, and probably should have, but kind of just doing this off the cuff. Nothing really planned. Oh, hi Liz. Yeah, so I just wanted to jump on and kind of do something that some of the other YouTube channels do, and I've been meaning to do it. I think it's a pretty cool thing to do, is to thank all the people who have subscribed and who hang out and join us on the channel, and also wanted to talk a little bit about the channels that I watch and sort of things I watch on YouTube. So I thought maybe I'd start doing this once a week, just kind of talk about, bring up all the people who've subscribed and thank everyone, and because I do really appreciate everybody who does join the channel and hang out and watch the videos with us and comment and talk to each other on the comments and talk to me and that sort of thing. That's why I do it, you know, because it's fun. I like to share with people, and it's kind of my favorite social media since I've started doing it just a few months ago. So I'm here hanging out with my boy Kyle. I was just outside most of the morning doing getting the ice off the roof. We've had some ice dams build up because I didn't do the greatest job of getting the snow off the roof when we got our first couple of snowstorms, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that it snowed during the night, and so I wasn't out there raking the roof at night, and by the time I got out there to do it, there quickly formed some ice dams on the edge of the roof. And that can happen because we have a couple of wood stoves and the chimney on the middle of the roof, and we get the house pretty warm at times, 75 to 80 degrees sometimes, and so that will cause the snow on the roof to melt pretty quickly, but when it hits the edge of the roof, it will build up ice on the edge of the roof, and that will cause the ice dams. And the problem with that is when the ice builds up on the edge of the roof, it keeps building up and then causes kind of a wall of ice, and then what that does is it prevents the water from coming off the edge of the roof, and then it backs up underneath the shingles and then into your roof and eventually your ceiling, and that's not good. I've actually had it happen one time where I was sitting down in my shop working on something, and then I heard it dripping. That was last year, and it turns out there were ice dams in the roof above the shop. So this year I'm trying to do a better job of keeping after that. I just got up there and chipped all the ice dams off. I put some ice melt stuff up there, hoping in the next year or two to get a metal roof installed, a standing seam roof, which will prevent that. We do have a lot of peaks and valleys in our roof, so we end up having a lot of problems with ice buildup. So anyway, enough about me cleaning up ice dams. I basically just came in and thought I would warm up. I'm sitting here by the fire. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, hey Gator, how you doing? Yeah, the house we bought just a few years ago, and they clearly didn't use ice and water shield. I actually like the idea of using ice and water shield on your whole roof. So when we redo the roof, though, it's going to be done. We're going to get the standing seam roof. The roof that's up there now is about, I think, like 5-6 years old, so we don't need to do it right away. Hey Liz, how was your day? My day's good so far. Got some exercise working on the roof. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, if we're going to go to a standing seam roof, I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to put ice and water shield or not, or if that's something they use when they do that. I've only ever done asphalt shingle roofing, and I know I always use ice and water shield when I do that, at least 3 feet up. I like to do 2 rows of it, 3 feet wide, so it goes 6 feet up. But yeah, so maybe next year, I'm hoping. The roof is still in okay condition. It's just I'm kind of sick of the the ice dams, and I'd like to just be done with it. It'll be one of those, you put the roof on, and once it's done, I'll never have to do it again. Um, the live stream is actually telling me that the oh, love you, Emma.
Oh, this screen. The person that was on my screen was.
Cool. Yeah, I've never had a house with the standing seam roof before, but from what I've seen with houses with it, the snow and ice just falls right off. I actually have a neighbor a couple houses down, and I'm always looking at his roof and paying attention to that to see how the snow and ice buildup is on his roof, and the snow and ice buildup is along the side of his house, not on his roof. So I always end up having to clean up the side of my house anyways, because I rake all the snow off, and it makes a big mess. So I don't mind cleaning up the mess that falls off of the roof, because I'm going to end up taking it off myself anyway. But it's just the roof itself, having to deal with that is just a pain, and I don't want to cause any damage to my ceiling, my roof. I don't want to have leaks and water damage and that sort of thing. So yeah, I had to get after that this morning, and I was able to get all that done without. There were some ice dams, and there was a little bit of water backing up, but I don't think anything got into the roof this time. But when I did break the ice dams out, water came kind of flowing off the roof, so there was definitely some backup there. So I came in warm up from working on that all morning. It's about 1:15 now, and so my next plan is to go outside. I have some pine cants that I've cut out of some pine logs just a few months ago, and I wanted to turn that. Standing seam in the valley may have a problem. Get ice and water shield, you'll never. Yeah, okay. Liz, Emma is my 6-year-old daughter. That's Ryan's 6-year-old sister. Ryan, otherwise known as Game Slugger. But yeah, so I'm gonna, when I do that, that's good to know. When I do the standing seam roof, so do the ice and water shield in the valleys. I'm assuming they would do the standing seam roof over the current roofing rather than tearing it off, because I know there's 2 layers up there too, which is kind of a pain. Anytime I usually do a roof, I usually just ice and water shield everything, but I also strip all the old roofing off. So I'm curious how the live stream looks, because the live stream software kind of keeps telling me something about supported resolution and latency. It's telling me my resolution is too high. I don't know if that's actually an issue or not, but from what I can see, it looks like it's okay.
Yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah, so yeah, so like I was doing, I'm gonna jump over here, and oh, cool, thanks, Skater. Yeah, I thought it looked okay, but it's weird. It's telling me that there's like an issue. Not sure why. Alright. So, it's weird when I go into the subscribers, it doesn't show anything newer than 2 weeks ago, which is strange, but I have my emails, the alerts that I get, so I figured I'd go off of them, and there's not a whole lot, but I figure I'll go over this. And I know it's funny, I know there were a lot more subscribers in this, so I'm gonna have to get better at figuring that out. Let's see if I can find some more. Yeah, no. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get better at keeping track of that if I'm gonna do this. That's for sure. So I'll basically just do a search in my email here for the words "has subscribed," anything over the past few weeks. Looks like actually all I have is the last 5 days in my email, which is odd. But so the 5 that I actually have here in my email, I just want to shout everyone out and give them a thanks for joining. And it doesn't give me an email for everyone who's subscribed, only the people who allow their subscriptions to be seen by others. So we've had, just in the past, I think, week, 10 days or so, we gained, I think, about 40 subscribers. And a lot of that has to do with a collaboration I did with Ben Sawmill. And I appreciate him doing that with me. It was a lot of fun. So thanks, Ben. And your channel's doing awesome, and as always, you get some awesome content. But so to get to the subscribers, back on December 12th, it looks like LJ Redneck. So LJ Rednecks, thanks for subscribing. And all the new subscribers, if you could jump into the comments at least once, you maybe on this video, and just let me know how you found me, and maybe like roughly where you're from. So I'm always curious to know those things. It's kind of interesting. Let's see. Oh, hey Chris. Yeah, welcome Chris. I do remember seeing the alert, I think, for when from when you subscribed, but I don't remember. So yeah, thanks Chris for joining, and I believe you joined in from one of the other channels. I think maybe from Ben's channel. I know most of the people who've come recently, I think, are subscribers of Ben's. But yeah, and a Gators that's here in the chat, he's also fairly new to the channel, so definitely welcome, and I appreciate you joining. And definitely go out, and if you haven't, if you don't know Gator, you can go over and check out his channel. He's got some pretty good videos over there. I actually been watching some of them and definitely enjoy those. So definitely go over and check out Gator's World. You just click on his name here in the chat, and you can go to channel. Hey fisherman. Eastern Canada, just strap 1x4 over the old asphalt and put galvanized steel on the ice dam's gone. Okay. Oh, galvanized steel. Yeah, it's like the old barns, the way they used to do the old barns. I actually have some galvanized steel roofing that I put over the track of my sawmill to keep the snow off of it. Hey, Fisherman 506, I think he's fairly new here if I remember right. And Finite World is also new to the channel. Thanks for joining. And of course Liz is new to the channel. There's a lot of new subscribers on the channel. I kind of had a little bit of a lull where I think some people have actually dropped off, and I did have some new people join, but you know, it is what it is. I think I've kind of changed some things on the channel, changed the name of it, and changed the focus to just focus more on mostly the wood related stuff, whether it be firewood preparation, cutting trees, making lumber, woodworking projects. It's the stuff that I really enjoy doing. Hopefully everyone likes that, because I figured I'd make the channel a little bit more focused, so when people are looking for certain types of content, so you're looking for, you know, wood related stuff, you don't want to, you know, have to join a channel and then have to also get alerts about things like, you know, plumbing and drywall repair if you're only here, you know, for that sort of thing. So but oh, you bought a Woodland HM130 in April. Yeah, I love mine. I do. I'm learning every single time I use it. I find that and I'm always looking for ways to improve my process. I still have a lot to learn, and I still have a lot to improve. I think it's kind of going to be always like an ever-evolving thing, and I'm hoping at some point, someday, to mill some beams and post and beams, and do maybe like a timber frame workshop. We just bought the property next door, which is about 2 acres. So whatever my plan is, hopefully in the spring, to kind of clear a spot where I can build something like that, and then get get started on building that maybe next year. Um, so back to the subscribers. So I mentioned LJ Redneck. We got Liz in the chat, Gators World, Chris Cox, Fisherman, 506, Finite World, and I know we had some others up there, but so getting back to the ones I've got notified on the email, we got Daddy275. Welcome, Daddy275. If you're watching, jump down in the comments and let us know how you found us here and where you're from. Rufus Mungunde. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So welcome, Rufus. I appreciate you joining. The Sweely Life. Thank you for joining. I saw your comment recently too. That's awesome. Yeah, so I hope you're enjoying the stuff here on the channel. If there's anything, for that matter, anybody wants to see specifically done or more details on, throw some comments down. I'm always looking for anything that would be most interesting to you. I just like sharing what I do and getting feedback on it. It's just fun, just like any sort of type of social media. And let's see, one other is Elk Obsession. So welcome, Elk Obsession. Same thing, jump down in the comments, let us know a little bit about you, how you found us, and that would be awesome. And say hi to everyone else, and hopefully everyone else will also welcome the new subscribers. And so the other thing I wanted to do was just talk a little bit about one or two channels that I'm watching. A lot of you may already watch and follow him, but Jim over on the Tradesman channel 2017, I've been watching pretty much just about every video that he puts out lately. Probably sometimes should go back and watch some of the older videos, but he's doing a series of vlog of building a timber frame workshop barn type thing, and it's really interesting to see the process, because it's actually something I really want to do, which is a lot of times what we watch videos for. Is something that we want to get into and do. In his shop, he is working on also putting together a forge. Yeah, Jim definitely has a great channel. Really fun to watch, and good personality, and gives a lot of details about what he does, opinions on what he does, and just seems like a pretty cool guy. So yeah, I love watching his channel and the stuff that he's doing over there. Usually he's working under light late at night, which is sometimes the way I like to do things too, because it's quietest. Everyone is usually asleep or doing something else at that point. But yeah, his channel is a lot of fun to watch. Like I said, he's doing the timber framing. He's got a sawmill, so he's milling most of his own. He's milling all of his own timbers and a lot of his own lumber. And he has been picking up, I think, some of the siding wood at a local Amish sawmill. But he does most of all his milling. He was just doing some milling the last couple of nights, milling some braces for his timber frame. And so that's been a lot of fun to watch. And he talks a lot about his process and why he does certain things. So I find a lot of that really interesting and helpful. And I've actually asked a lot of questions on his channel, and sometimes feel bad that I'm asking too many things. But he's like, hey, no worries, just ask all you want. And he seems to really enjoy answering questions. So I think that's pretty cool, because I definitely have a lot of questions. He's done a lot of research over the years on timber frame. I'm kind of just getting started into reading about it. I picked up a few books on that, and maybe at some point I'll pull those books out and share those once I get into them and give you an idea of what I think of them. But they seem pretty good so far. They were recommended by another channel, Pure Living for Life, which is a huge channel. They've been doing a timber frame house that they started. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have been over on their channel too. But yeah, so then they have a sawmill as well. But yeah, Jim's channel is awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the forging stuff, because I'd like to get more into that as well. Also want to get more into doing like metalworking, and get a forge and do some metalworking and forging and welding. I've done a little bit of welding on some of the stuff I've done around here, not a whole lot on my car, go-kart, stuff like that, so little projects. I just have a small flux core wire welder, and at some point, maybe when I get better at it, I'll pick up something a little bit better. I do want to do some modifications to my backhoe, so I think the welder will come in handy with that. But yeah, so I pretty much want to just come on here, welcome everybody who's joined, and really appreciate it. Channel's kind of a slow growing thing, but it's still fun for me. I enjoy doing it, and like I said, I changed the focus of the channel, so some of the drop might have had to do with that. I'm actually warming up here now because I'm planning on heading back out, because this morning when we woke up it was about 3 degrees. Pure Living for Life. Yeah, they took some timber framing classes. Pure Living for they took from timber framing classes in Maine. We're in New Hampshire, so we're actually just a few hours away from where they took that timber framing class, and actually all the people that you see on their channel helping put their house up, and doing the timber framing stuff, that they came and helped out, all went to the same school, and so it's not that far away. I've considered going to maybe take a class there because I thought it would be interesting. It is a bit expensive, but you know, it could be fun, and you know, it could be worth the experience, worth the education and learning on building, because of course, you know, milling your own timbers and building your own place is a lot of work, but it can save you a lot of money, and it can be fun at the same time, and good exercise. Yeah, and shoveling snow. Yeah, they seem to have gotten that kind of put together just in time for the snow. It was cool that they had a lot of help though, but yeah, they were shoveling off their main floor in order to kind of finish putting their frame together. I know they're from what I've seen on like other social media and on their YouTube channel, there's a little bit of a time difference. You can see that their house is more built up already, more than they're showing in their videos on YouTube. You can see on their oh, thanks, Gator. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. Exactly. Yeah. You know, it's true. I have done actually some research on YouTube recently, and how they figure out who they promote and who they put up in kind of suggested videos, and it is a lot to do with, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down, with comments on your videos, views on your videos. The more activity they see and engagement from people viewing, the more they suggest your videos to others with similar channels. So they do try to also target people with similar interests, which is cool. But of course, the channels like Pure Living for Life and people that have you know, thousands and hundreds of thousands of viewers obviously are going to get more exposure, because you know, YouTube wants to generate traffic to channels that are more popular, because they want people to stick around on YouTube and visit more of the ads and that sort of thing. So there's all that, but I do research a little bit of that, but I don't stress it too much. I do kind of try to use the right keywords and that sort of thing, because I like having people jump in and comment. It's always fun to read people's comments and, you know, suggestions. I've gotten a lot of suggestions from people in the comment section on you know, how to do certain things with the mill, and chainsaw advice, and just things that's been really helpful to me. So I definitely appreciate that. And it's not by any means really how-to videos. It's more of just like kind of how I do things, and it's cool because I'll get feedback from other people. And the cool thing about that is other people who join the channel will also see in the comments those same suggestions, and hopefully learn from that as well. And as I learn, I hope you know, my skills, I can fine-tune my skills, they get better, and I'll share all the things that I've learned in my videos. But yeah, so I started out on YouTube, I think it was in April, May this year. So it's been about a little more than 6 months probably. And of course it starts off really slow. I mean, I guess some people have luck early on. A lot of the channels that I've communicated with and commented on and chatted with that started, some of them started out with when I did, and that were pretty early on. I like communicating with channels that are a similar size, and so I chatted with a lot of channels like Ben's channel and another one, Fisher's Shop, which is another channel. He's got a lot of cool. If you like woodworking, he's a good channel to check out too. I believe he subscribes to me, but I don't 100% know for sure. I used to see his comments earlier on, but I don't see much from him as much anymore, but he's probably gotten a lot busier. When we both started out, we both had the same amount of subscribers or very similar, and within 100 or so, 100, 200 early on, and then one day he made a video or two that became really popular and kind of went sort of, I don't know, say viral, but got thousands of views on, and I think he's now got somewhere around 20 to 25,000 subscribers, and I'm sitting at, I think, 290 now, so I guess his content's a little more entertaining, or maybe YouTube suggested his channel a little bit more, but that's cool. Everybody does what they like, and not everybody likes that, so with that sawmill, you'll be up there soon, and the money going to start coming. Oh, thanks, Gator. Hey, Real McCoy, how you doing? So Real McCoy is also another new subscriber as well. So it's good to see you jumping in. How you doing? So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, with the sawmill, I think that will help, and that's one of the things I definitely like to record, because it's fun to go back to when you're editing the video, and you kind of relive the milling while you're editing, because you get to kind of watch it again. And milling's fun because you get the outcome you get from a dirty log sitting on the ground to the outcome of being some really nice looking slabs or lumber. It's definitely rewarding. So I think my favorite couple logs so far, I mill a lot of oak because there's just so much oak here. We had to replace our septic system. I have some videos actually, I think, on the channel of cutting the trees down when I was doing it. It was just kind of a one-man logging operation. So we had about probably a quarter of an acre or so, half an acre that I had to clear. Probably about 25, 30 trees. The first day I started doing it, I cut 2 or 3, and then I didn't I didn't share it in the video, but that day I stopped because I dropped what was probably about 70, 80 foot tall, huge pine tree, dropped right across our power lines. And that made a mess, and yeah, so that kind of killed my buzz that day for doing any more tree cutting. So yeah, oops is right. Oh, hey Damon, how you doing? Yeah, so I've been, speaking of watching other channels on YouTube, I took a lot of time to research a little bit more on cutting trees and how to get it to go in the right direction. Oh, cool. Oh. But yeah, so I've been watching a lot of videos. Of course, I know Damon subscribes to Buck and Billy Ray's channel. He's got, I think, 15 or 16,000 subscribers over there. He's a tree service guy. Learn a lot from watching his videos, and he's a lot of fun to watch, entertaining. So he's another channel, if anyone here hasn't checked out. He's a fun channel to watch. So I learned a lot of the chainsaw stuff and a lot of my tree cutting from him. He's a lot of fun to watch. I wish I could climb like he does, but over the past few years I gained a little bit of weight, and at one point broke my leg. So I need to get back into shape. And tomorrow I'm actually picking up a treadmill, because a lot of people don't know on here. 3 years ago, I was a marathon runner. So I used to run marathons. I was about probably 70 pounds lighter than I am now, and ran 2 marathons that last year that I was running in 2014, and then stopped running when I bought this house because it turned out this house needed a lot of work. And at one point I had a video on this channel. I don't think it's on there anymore, but just a little bit of going over the condition of the house after we bought it. Discovered there was a lot of black mold, so we had to move out and get the house, and I had to completely renovate the interior, replace all the windows, replace most of the siding. It was pretty bad, but so at that point I stopped running, and then got a bit out of shape, or a lot of bit out of shape. But yeah, back to the tree thing. I'd love to climb trees at some point again, or not again, but in the first place. Actually mentioned to Damon maybe I should go up and visit him, and he can teach me something. Because Damon's right here in New Hampshire as well. But yeah, I'd love to get into doing that stuff. But watching Buckin's channel is great for learning good ways to sharpen your chain and work on your chainsaws, and cutting techniques. So that first day I was out there, I dropped the tree on the power lines, and that was kind of killed my mood for cutting anymore. And probably wasn't a good idea to keep cutting if there's power lines on the ground. But so the power company came out and restored everything, and told me that I could actually call them to come out and take the power lines down before I do any more cutting, which I wasn't aware they did that. And they do it for free. At least our power company here does. So I did that. I called them and scheduled them to come out. They took the power lines down, rolled them up, and just put them over by the house. So we were like kind of off grid for 24 hours. So they take them down for a day, and they'll come back the next day and put them back up for you, because they'd rather do that than have to come out here on a weekend and repair any damage that you've done. So I did that. I had them take the power lines down. I took the entire day off from work, and I got my saws all tuned up and sharpened, and I spent probably 8 hours, 6-8 hours or so out in my yard with my chainsaw, and just dropped all the trees, and everything went great. Actually, it was really good practice too. I actually, by the time I got done cutting all those trees down, I got much better at my aim and how to direct a tree in the direction you need it to go. But by no means, obviously, am I any sort of expert, but just that practice, having that whole day of cutting, definitely helped me a lot. And I do have a lot more to cut around here, so that'll be good. And a lot of it's close to the house, so I'm going to have to take my time and be careful with those. So I'm going to kind of work my way towards the house so I get a little bit more practice before I risk dropping a tree on the roof. At that point, the ice dams will be the least of my problems. So yeah, I've been working on getting those trees cut. I still have a lot of firewood that I need to buck up and split. I built the wood sheds now, so we have a nice dry place to put it, and I get the backhoe now for moving it around. I do need to get the forks put on my backhoe at some point, because I think that'll make the logs easier to load onto the mill than using the grapple or the log lifting tongs that I got. They do work really well, and they're awesome for moving the logs around, I think, around the property, because when the log is in kind of a weird position out in the woods where it was cut down and it's laying in a weird position, the log lifting tongs bite pretty good, and so you just got to get it down into one spot of the log. It'll bite, grab, and you can drag the log off to wherever you need to go. Where the forks, I could see them being a little bit more difficult when you get a log in a position where you can't maybe get underneath it and that sort of thing, or if it's a really big log that's not cut yet, you can use that tong to lift it up and cut it, or drag it out of the woods. So yeah, that's been some stuff that I've learned there. at some point soon here, I'm hoping to get into doing some more woodworking. I just spent this weekend, Friday night into Saturday, cleaning our basement out and making a lot of room down there so I can take stuff that's in the garage, move it down there, take some kind of storage stuff that's in the shop and move that down there and make some more room. I actually thought about maybe even using part of the basement down there as just kind of like a hand tool workshop, and moving my I have a wooden workbench that I built myself earlier this year. So that I built mainly to do hand tool woodworking, so I might move that to the basement because I'm not going to need dust collection for that, and it'll be quiet, so it'll be a place I can go downstairs where there's no dust created from the woodworking, and I can just do hand tool woodworking down there, and the wood stove's down there too, so it'll be a nice warm place to do that if I want. And as the wood dries outside, I'll be bringing some of that in at some point into the garage, dry a little more, and then into the basement by the wood stove to finish drying. I actually have a bunch of oak, red oak downstairs that's been drying for 3 years, so that's ready to be used for a project. I just have to come up with some good uses for it. I need to build some shelves in our bedroom and in our living room. And then I was thinking about maybe just making some boxes and cutting boards and little things like that. So, hey Gator, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to checking out some more of your videos. We'll talk to you soon. So yeah, that's about all I got. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on, and I thought maybe, I don't know what you guys think. I was thinking of maybe doing kind of a fireside little shout out to the new subscribers, and kind of other channels that I may have started watching, and kind of talk about what they got going on, because sometimes you don't always, you'll find a channel that's got 50,000 subscribers and you think, man, I wish I found them early on, because now you got a whole bunch of videos out that you missed and you have to go back and watch. So it's kind of cool to share that stuff. Sometimes that's how I find other channels, is other channels that I watch now are talking about those channels, and it kind of gets me to go over there and visit them. And it also helps other channels grow and that sort of thing. I mean, I don't have thousands of subscribers or anything, but any extra traffic to their channels can help, and it helps the people viewing too, because they're finding stuff that they find interesting. So yeah, so I hope you guys like this idea. If you do, I'll do some more of it. I'm thinking just once a week, maybe do a quick I don't know, half an hour or so of just chit chat and kind of update on what I'm working on, and say hi to the people that have subscribed to the channel, give people a chance to ask questions and give feedback and that sort of thing. Talk about some of the stuff that I'm doing, some of the channels I'm watching, and that sort of stuff. So it's a kind of a way for me to kind of just sit down, and I don't have to worry about positioning of cameras, and it's kind of fun to just be able to sit and chat, and I don't have to go back and edit anything. But speaking of that, I'm gonna head outside now and go get some of those pine cants milled, because behind that pile of pine cants I have some firewood that I had cut up earlier this year that I want to move into the last woodshed that I built, and it'll be a lot easier if I can get to it with my backhoe and my loader to move that wood into the woodshed. And right now those pine cants, I think there's like 4 of them out there that are about 10-12 feet long, that I want to mill into. I'm probably just going to mill it into like 2-inch thick dimensional lumber for now, and then at some point I can cut them down if I need them to be another dimension. I am going to have to find a place to put them, because the canopy that I was using to keep the moisture off and rain off for the lumber that I had stored outside, unfortunately took on a lot of snow, and the weight of that snow pretty much crushed the canopy. If I got out there a little bit sooner and got the snow off of it, it probably would have been okay, but it was one of those things where it snowed overnight pretty heavily, and I wasn't up at 2 o'clock in the morning to get the snow off of it. So I'm trying to keep the other tent that I have out there with our garage bikes and that sort of thing cleaned off, but I think once I get the garage cleaned out, I'll I'll probably move some of that stuff into the garage. Hey Chris, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one. So yeah, I'm gonna head out there and get that stuff milled up so I can grab that firewood out of there. And then at some point later on today, I'm probably gonna work on cleaning inside of the house again and getting things organized so I can get back into doing some woodworking, especially on these mornings where it's 3 degrees out and I really don't want to go outside. I think my general rule is kind of anything below 20 degrees tends to be a little too cold to go outside. It's not as much fun. Once you start moving around, it's not too bad. You can stay warm, but yeah. And it'll also give me an excuse to get inside and do some more woodworking projects, which I really like to do. So, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna take off. I appreciate you guys all stopping by and saying hi, and thanks for sticking around. Thanks for subscribing. And on your way out, if you like the video or like being around, yeah. Damon, you are not kidding. If I got all the accidents and things that have happened to me on video, I think that would definitely make an entertaining channel. Yeah. Car accidents, falling and breaking my leg, blowing out my knee, running my truck, backing it into my dumpster and blowing out the back window of that, dropping trees on power lines. We had a forest fire. So yeah, if we caught half of that stuff on video, it would be a pretty good channel. I'm sure it would be entertaining. It's one of those things I can laugh at later, but at the moment it's pretty rough. The drone, yeah, it definitely turns on, and in the house I just held on to it and I hit takeoff. And it actually tried to take off. I held it, obviously, and so it wouldn't fly into the ceiling. But it fired up, and looks like it was ready to take off. I might actually go test that out today too, just to see how that. I haven't had a chance to test it out yet. Right after I got it all fixed, I didn't get a chance to try it out right away, and then it snowed. So I've been dealing with that. But it looks like it's gonna work, surprisingly, because that thing was pretty well crushed. I flew it into an oak tree. About probably 50-60 feet up, and it was above the paved road down at the end of the driveway. I was going down the road with it, and I accidentally hit the return to home button, and right before it returns to home, it shoots up like 50 or 100 feet, and it shot right up into a tree. And yeah, that's right. If there's something you won't try at home, let me know, because I will. But yeah, I smashed that thing right into the tree, and it hit the ground hard, and it was just pieces everywhere. And so, it cost me a couple $100, and I had only flown it like 3 times, so I didn't want to just toss it and never use it again, because it was a good investment. And it's kind of like me. I've been banged up and put back together, and I'm still working. So the drone hopefully will be the same thing. I'll take it out and try it. Hey Gene, how you doing? So yeah, I have actually since bought a DJI Spark, and haven't flown it yet. Part of me is kind of afraid to, because I don't want to break it. So I'll probably go run the yeah, me too, Gene. That's why I'm actually in here. I'm actually just finishing warming up now. I was outside chipping off ice off my roof and came in to warm up, put a log on the fire, and now I'm gonna get headed back out there and get some wood milled while it's above 20 degrees out. But yeah, I got my other drone, and at some point in the near future I'll probably take my cheaper one out, although I do like that drone too. The Unique Breeze is nice. But I'll take that out and get a little bit more practice trying not to fly things into trees. Flying it around here in the woods is probably not the best thing to do, or at least keep it in an open area. But the thing about the Breeze is it only goes about 90 meters before Sparks and yeah, no, you're right about that. Sparks and me, yeah. that's another story that I can tell you at some point, how we ended up with the forest fire here. It wasn't, yeah, that was unpleasant. But yeah, I guess that's how I got the nickname Sparky. um, but yeah, so I think having the spark will be cool because it's got, I think, like a mile and a half range, so I can actually fly it from my yard, and I can actually go exploring a bit more with that. The unique breeze is cool for doing stuff a little more closer by, and more, if you're actually where you're actually in the place that you want to get videos of, or fly, just for fun. The unique breeze 4K is great because it's only like $200, and for a drone of that quality, it's actually a really good price. Just doesn't go quite as far as I would like. Although I'm not sure, after crashing my drone into a tree, how I feel about flying a drone a mile away, because I may never see it again. So I'm gonna work into that, and work slowly into doing that. So, but I thought that would be a fun way to get some shots of the property and shots of some of the stuff I'm working on. Plus they're kind of been fun to run. I just started, so I'm pretty new to drone flying as well. So I'm still learning that. But I am going to take off here in a minute and head out and get some of that milling done. And so I hope you guys, keep warm. Everyone stay safe. Keep warm. If anyone's gonna get hurt, it'll be me. So I'll just get hurt for you. But no, yeah. Stay safe, stay warm, and have fun what you're doing, and that's what matters the most. So I will see you on the next video, and I'll get, maybe next Sunday I'll get another one of these going, I think. Yeah, so maybe we'll do a Christmas Eve live, if everyone's up for that. So everyone have a good day. Gene, have a good day. Damon, take care. Finite World, have a good Sunday. And I will see you guys all again soon. Yeah, I'm going to try to stay safe. Alright, take care, guys. Talk to you soon.